Hey, it's Bob Melbanian and Matt Hartnett from Shockwave Skull Sessions and Aftershocks. If you'd like to receive access to exclusive episodes from your favorite show and would even like to be a part of it, we've got an offer that you simply can't refuse.
CMSPN now offers our listeners the chance to not only view and listen to exclusive episodes, but to actually participate in one as well. Go to our Subscribe Star page at www.subscribestar.com/CMSPN. Our page has 3 monthly subscription tiers for you to choose from, and is a great way to personally connect to your favorite CMSPN show.
Our content will always be free of charge, but if you're looking to have a closer connection to your favorite show, subscribestar.com/CMSPN is the way to go. As always, thanks for listening, and enough of us talking. Here's the episode you actually came here for.
All right, let's do it. All right, we're back here with another episode of Aftershocks on AftershocksTV.com on the CMS network. And let's welcome our guest today from UK alternative rock prodigies, Dead Romantic. We've got Dan, Adam, and Mike. What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming on with us today. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you guys just released your brand new single yesterday. Came out last month. It's off your new album that's getting ready to be released this summer. And this track, man, it's really taken off. I think I saw it has like 1 million views almost already on YouTube, man. This thing's really taken off in just a few weeks. So I guess start us off by talking a bit about the single as well as the new release that's getting ready to come out in June.
So the single, what did it come out on April 16th? So it's almost been a month now.
Mm-hmm.
We've accumulated, like you said, like close to 1 million views, which is like just blowing our minds completely.
Sure.
Yeah. Funny, like obviously the scenery, everyone thinks like it looks like green screen, or we actually climbed a mountain with all of the gear on our backs. Freezing cold.
And
we're gonna get to the
fucking
top.
Sucked.
Bullshit. I had to go down, up and down twice as well. Fucking forgot the microphone. I had to go back down for it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, we sourced this location, which was amazing, and then just got it done. But so yeah, single was called Yesterday. It's the first single off the album, but
Plenty more to come now.
yes.
Sure.
Plenty more to come. So like we've done a few videos now that are like sort of prep for release that all look like pretty sweet. Like when we finished the Yesterday video and we saw the sort of finished product, we were like, shit, like now what? Like what next? Like how can we carry on? Because it looks fucking sweet, like with the scenery and all that, and then at the Abbey and stuff, it looked mint. And then it was like, so what do we do next to try and keep that sort of level up? But I feel like we found like the things to keep that level up, and I'm really excited for the rest of the videos to come out and see how they do as well, because I mean, for me, each one gets better and better and better as it goes on, like in terms of the release schedule. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of them do.
Yeah, no doubt, guys. Well, what's interesting is how really the band came together. I mean, you guys are all, from all over the place. I know, Mike, you're originally from Canada. You've lived here in the States as well. And the rest of the guys, you guys are all throughout the area in the UK there. So talk about the initiation of the band and how you guys were all able to come together to form Dead Romantic. It's pretty interesting.
I think when I moved over here from the US, so I was in Los Angeles first, and then we were in Nashville for a while.
Okay.
And then we're like, fuck this, we're out of here. We're taking the kids and we're going to the UK, and we wanted the kids to be raised here. My mom was born here, and
okay.
I'm a citizen here because of that. So I thought, okay, let's just do this. We've always wanted to live here, so now's a perfect time. Not a lot going on right now. So we come over here and we're super excited, and then COVID hits. And we're like, shit. So the plan was to come over here, and I have a record label, an independent record label that's distributed by Sony. So the idea was, okay, come over here and we'll find some new talent to develop, and then, we'll start kicking ass and blowing this record company up there. So that kind of, even though we did that, all our plans came to a screeching halt. And then I'm like, okay, let's use this time and we'll put a band together. And then on Facebook, on my feed, this singer pops up doing a Zeppelin cover. and it happens to be this asshole right here. So, yeah, I see this awesome singer, he's got the whole charisma thing and rock star. I'm like, oh, this guy's perfect. I'm going to ask on this thread, okay, who's this singer guy? Someone must know who this is. So I'm like, hey, does anyone know this singer? Please refer him to me, blah, blah, blah. So this woman hits me up and she's like, oh, his name's Dan Taylor, blah, blah, blah. Here's his info, get in touch. Turns out to be his wife, but she doesn't say it's his wife.
Okay.
And then, I think Dan got the message from me and probably thought, this guy's full of shit. He's not fucking some producer from...
Messaged him on Facebook and he was like, oh, I'm a record producer from LA. One of my, if you wanted to work, I was like, fuck off. No, he's like doing cover bands down the street or whatever, and he's like getting in touch like I'm this big time guy. But no, you're not. But then it all worked out.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so he came over for a writing session, and then we were all under all these restrictions. So you could come over, then you couldn't, and then finally we were tight lockdown. So for a few weeks we didn't get together, and then and he was super persistent. Let's just get together. Let's just make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up writing a tune, and at that point we were like, okay, we have something special and unique here. So let's put the band together. And I had known Adam from a project previously, so I'm like, okay, I got the drummer. We got to bring him in, and he found our bass player Chris, and that's kind of how it started. So we started writing these songs, and it came once we started writing, it came together super fucking fast. Like it was. I mean, I think we had a good collection of songs within the first few weeks, and then it was like, okay, let's hone the sound and get Adam up here to start cutting the drums, and then that's that. Now we're here, and now we have a release, and we're hoping like people are going to gravitate towards it. And
yeah, no doubt. I think they will. Like I said, the songs sound great. Mike, like you said, you just alluded to, you produced, you're a producer. You obviously produced this record as well. I mean, you've got really an extensive resume I was looking at, man. Really impressive. I mean, some big time names you've worked with over the years. What's the main difference, I would say, between producing your own music compared to someone else's? Because you always hear people state that, well, it's not a great idea to, produce your own music because you kind of need someone from the outside, that voice to come in and point things out that, that you can't when you're in the band because you're biased. So what do you think is the main difference that you've experienced between the two?
I think it's really hard. It seems to be really easy for me to produce other people's music because you're not as attached to it. So I find for myself, I overthink things a lot. It's like I end up doing guitars for two days rather than, an hour. So I'm like, fuck, that part sucks. Okay, scratch that. Okay, do it again. And so that's the negative about it. But I mean, the positive is you don't have to pay anyone else to do the record.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And, and we can be as critical as we want and take our time, even though we didn't take a lot to do the record. We were able to do whatever we want and experiment more than you would if you were paying a producer. And studio time.
We had the opportunity for a few rewrites of certain things as well, didn't we? Like we write for a couple of weeks or so, get a song together, and then just sit there and go,
that verse sucks.
This chorus is shit. Yeah. So let's scrap it back to square one and go again. So it's really sort of, I suppose we're lucky to be in this situation, really.
Yeah.
No doubt. I just want to be clear on something, guys. You guys have only been a band like a year at most. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really not even a couple weeks. We're basically a band when the song came out.
Yeah.
Well, here's where I find that to be absolutely insane. And you guys can certainly, all of you can relate to this, and somebody must have an answer. Bands that have been together weeks, not years, almost never have creative chemistry. It's always, you guys have all been in bands. I've been in a band, a failed one, but I was in a band, and needless to say, it took years of practicing and playing and understanding each other before you could even find a flow to write to. How is it that you guys were able to craft something that obviously relates to all of you, and at the same time, you got 1 million views on the first time people are hearing you? It's relating to people as well. How are you able to do that without, you guys are probably still learning shit about each other?
Yeah, I mean, we do spend a lot of time together. Probably more in the last few weeks than any other band I've been in, because we've been trying to do this so fast. So I don't know how we fucking did it. I think it's just one of those magical things that happened when I met Dan. We had really good creative chemistry, and it was like we had been in a band together for years. And then Adam's such a pro, and both him and I come from that session player kind of side guy mentality where you can just pop in a band and play, and you're supposed to know like you've been playing in that band forever. So he has that thing, which is perfect, but he also is a show guy himself and beats the fuck out of the drums. So I don't know. We
got the power of technology. I think that, you know, we all kind of gravitate towards the same genres and we all listen to the same sort of bands, but there's offcuts that we all bring in, and Dan loves Bring the Horizon, and I don't really listen to them, but like everyone throws it into this mixing pot that we all just go, right, blah, this is dead romantic. And I think we're just lucky that we haven't, like, we're doing rehearsals actually this week. We haven't really played together, like really got in the room and like hit it out. So obviously that's going to be a new kind of experience. But we just did an acoustic version of the video yesterday, the latest single, and that really showed us that we were kind of like connected on a playing level, and it's a really cool version.
I think, yeah, just when you get to a certain level, I think of just knowing how to communicate almost like telepathically with other musicians, it might make it a bit easier. But I think we just got lucky. It's a really good group of guys, and even, you know, aside from the music, we get along really well, which is I think is the most important thing about being in a band, because most of the time you get that one or two dickheads in the band that you can't fucking deal with, and massive egos and all that, and usually it comes from singers. But this guy has. I mean,
that's what the bass player is not here.
We fucked him up. No, but Dan's got none of that. Like, for a lead singer with such charisma, he has none of that LSD lead singer disease shit. Like, he's very good. He's just, I don't know. It's the first I've ever seen of this kind of thing.
Right. You guys do understand that you're that literally you're saying, we haven't played yet together in a room, but we've played on top of a mountain for
that counts. Yeah.
I mean, we played on top of a mountain. We played in some fire. Our second video's got a lot of fire in it. We've poisoned ourselves. We've done
a lot of things.
That's amazing, man.
Well, we should be second to that. Really.
Sure. Nice. Well, talk a little bit too. I saw that Steve Diamond worked with you guys on some of the songwriting, and man, that's a solid name if ever there's a solid name, you know, Hall of Fame guy. What did he do with you guys? Did he provide songs, or did he take what you guys were working on and help refine them? You know, what exactly was Steve's role?
I think it was a collaborative effort. So, I mean, because of technology, we're able to use Zoom like this and do sessions. But Steve and I have probably like a 15-year writing history of writing songs for other people, and we've just always done that. So it just seemed natural that if we were going to have someone come and co-write with us, it would be him. So we would just throw ideas back and forth. Like, you know, we'd have a melody or a guitar part and a lyrical concept, and we just kind of, you know, whoever was in the room, whether it was, you know, us three and Steve, or us two and Steve, or whoever it was, we would just bounce ideas back and forth, just like anyone in a room would with songwriting. So, and none of us are afraid to tell the other one that fucking sucks. So
yeah, I think that's what I was going to say a minute ago, is like, I think one of the things that's made this work, even though it's only been a short period of time, is first of all, we have a common goal, essentially. I think we all have the like a combined vision of where we want this to go and where we want it to be, and who we want to be as a collective artist. But then secondly, there's not a person who can't just be told, nah, that's not like where we're going, let's do something else. Like, there's no one who's going to get the Marty's, oh no, Marty's not a word where you're from.
There's no ego. I don't think there's any sort of ego involved. With what I've seen at the moment.
Yeah,
maybe a bit from Dan, not that much.
Yeah, there's no real ego. So no, like if Mike suggests something, I could go, nah, I think that's a bit shit.
And I'll tell him, I'll say, fuck you, man.
So
Nice.
we work well together, and because there's no ego, it works, and it's a lot more comfortable a writing experience as well, because you can suggest your ideas and you know you're going to get honesty. Like it's not like,
and it's a lot of fun too. I mean, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise that this whole COVID thing happened, because we were able to just like be in a room and not stress about creating. Like there was no timeline, like we have to do it for this. It was just like, well, we have this time, we're not doing shit. Let's make a record that we want to make and have fun doing it. And let's work with people that we love to work with. And then it's so much fun. It's like, there's no stress, there's no pressure. It's just, we're just making music that we want to make and having a good time doing it.
Yeah. Oh, sounds great, man. Well, you know, Dan, I know you mentioned, it's in the press release. I'll read it word for word. It said, the hooks of pop hits that make people want to sing along, coupled with sick metal breakdowns that make them want to fuck each other up, which I thought is a perfect way of kind of describing your guys' music.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
yeah, I said that.
Who said that? Oh, sorry.
I said that. Yeah,
you did say that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say. So, I mean, what I was getting at is, you know, it is kind of difficult when you're trying to mix two contrasting genres, like a pop and metal. I mean, those are contrasting, and to blend them without one of them sort of losing its, you know, pizzazz or identity. And you guys, I think, do a great job really at blending both of those. How do you guys go about doing that, balancing the pop and metal in order to create the sound that's released, you know, looks like it's really resonating with fans, you know, out there, as evidenced by your 1 million YouTube hits?
I think just combining the influences, it just comes out like that. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, all of us have grown up listening to different music, but we all kind of had the same love for pop rock radio shit. And some of us like super heavy stuff, and I like 80s shred metal. So it's, you know, we sneak in a guitar solo here and there, but the whole sense is about the song and what's best for the song. And I think that's the most important thing, the melodic hook of it. We're not a screamo band, even though we'd love to be that heavy. He's a singer style singer, so we have to craft songs that kind of work with what, you know, with his voice and what we have.
I think it's like the perfect combo for me as well, because like I love sort of metal music and like heavy as shit stuff, like, but then also I like to have something to sing along to. Like as a singer, like I've been a singer for as long as I can remember. Like I was in the choir at school and stuff. Okay. And it's just, you know, those times when you're driving in the car and you just scream singing, whether it's in key or not, you're just in the car just screaming along, like singing and stuff. So you want those catchy melodies, you want those sort of things. It's like, it's a good thing to have in a song, but then you stick a massive heavy breakdown in as well, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
And let's be real, we don't want to play shows to all dudes.
True.
You don't blame me. Yes, exactly. Good point. And that's a good way of
even though Adam really loves that.
Oh, hey, one off's fine.
Awesome. Well, there's also one thing, you know, I was reading too on there. It talked about how you guys are not fans of bands who distance themselves from their fan base, because you guys really seem that, you know, you want to be very connected to your fan base, and you do see a lot of bands start out with that sort of, you know, philosophy and intention. But of course, once you start getting, you know, your fan base starts growing and you get more, you know, notoriety and so forth. It's, you know, I mean, you have to sort of a little bit step back from that sort of direct connection. So how do you guys intend, I mean, especially that you are a new band, and I guess you really don't, you don't really know what your solid fan base is just yet because you are new. I mean, how do you intend, you know, going forward to keep yourselves one with the fans and refrain from distancing yourselves as you become bigger and bigger and your fan base grows?
I think for me, I've played with a lot of bands that have had success and been there, and have seen them, some of them treat their fans super shit, not come out of the tour bus to sign autographs, or, you know, not hang out and do meet and greets, or do meet and greets but kind of diss their fans. And for me, I've always thought, well, why the fuck would you do this then? Like, that's the whole love of doing music. It's like, you want to connect with people and you want to share your thing. So for me, I can't imagine with our own music not being able to connect with people and talk about why we love to do this. I mean, that's the part that's cool, that you get to share and you know, become one with your fans, kind of. So I don't know. I just think it makes it that much more exciting. The days of the rock stars are gone.
Yeah.
You know.
And it makes it much more exciting for the fans as well, knowing that they can like speak to the people that they I don't know, like to listen to or admire or whatever else. It's like if you met somebody who you sort of look up to or a band that you like or whatever, and they just look down their nose at you and told you to fuck off, you'd be like, well.
Yeah, you always remember those ones.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hey, remember that guy? I met that, my favorite artist, and they were a dick to me. That's all they're gonna remember.
Yeah.
No,
Good
absolutely, absolutely true. It's funny. I know we keep referring to the press release, but I guess that's what happens when you get the brand new bands. And they made comparisons to several bands on the press release, like 30 Seconds to Mars or Foo Fighters or whatever, which I find to be tremendously inaccurate of what you guys do. I think there's this underbelly of bands that are creating a style that you guys are a part of, and I'll name a couple other bands which you may or may not know, because this is a new movement that's happening. Bands like Awaiting Eli or Karma Kids, or bands like yourselves that have kind of taken that 2010 to 15 era metal sound and not made it so damn depressing. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but I don't want to say emo core because that's not right, but it's sort of right, but there is a collection of these bands that are coming out with this. It's altered enough to not be depression rock, I guess. And I'm sure you guys appreciate when somebody says, yeah, listen to Foo Fighters. You might like this band because obviously they're at this level, but at the same time, do you guys see the scene itself developing into the direction that you're going, into this more fresh, fun, newer style and sound?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
It'd be good
it's
for
cool
us
if they hear that, because I mean, you always, everyone asks you too when you're writing a press release, like, what would you compare yourselves to? And we all have these influences, and kind of what comes out is based on years of that stuff flooding in your brain, those those influences. You just kind of absorb them, and they come out and they turn into something, and sometimes it's super shit, and sometimes people connect with it, and they do what you just did, and they go, okay, well, it's this sound. I guess when you're close to it, you don't know that it's this sound, and that it's kind of this thing, but so that's cool to hear. I mean, I've never really thought about that.
Yeah, well, it's just interesting because not just because you're doing it, but because Matt and I get fed 900 CDs a week, and we're getting quite a few bands that are kind of in the same direction as what you're doing, which is obviously organic, because all these bands are new, including yours. It's really kind of fascinating to kind of watch it, and see, hey, maybe the new Seattle sound is going to be this, or the new, the new wave is going to be this. It's something that, as an old head, as I am, it's something I haven't seen since the 90s, where an actual style is developing, and it's cool, man.
That's the shit I miss. Yeah. I mean, those scenes, like the 80s hair metal, the 90s alternative thing, the grunge stuff, like, yeah, and that's the thing for us that for me as a listener, I've been missing for years. It's like, where's that? What's the new sound? Who knows? Like what it is. There's so many hybrids going on now, so it's hard to get a sound. It's like you got Youngblood doing, duets with Bring Me the Horizon and Machine Gun Kelly, and you don't really get a sense. I mean, he's amazing, and I love all of that stuff, but you don't really get a sense of like, what's that scene, or what's that sound, or what's that thing. So to be, noticed as this thing's turning into a sound is super cool, because that's what I miss personally.
Sure, no question. Well, guys, obviously you got a lot of stuff coming up. The new album Voices is out June 25th, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're actually going to push that back. So I think
it's September 3rd.
September 3rd, the album is going to come out. We have 2 singles that are going to come out before the album.
Okay.
You remember those?
Don't remember.
No.
I really ought to know.
I'm
It
going to
would
say
be great to know it.
I'm going to say 4th of June.
Correct.
4th of June.
Oh, it's like a test. Go on. First one's 4th of June.
4th
That's
of June.
correct.
Yeah, but what song?
Next one.
Kissed with a Lie.
Yes.
That's the song. The next song is going to be Fight Me.
Yep.
And I'm going to guess the date on that. Let's go July. Fuck. I don't know.
July 23rd. The 23rd of July, we've got a song called Fight Me that comes out.
Okay.
And then on September the 3rd is when we've got our 4th single comes out, and the album comes out on that day as well.
Okay.
Hey, what do you guys have? What do you have for basses back there? You got? Is that a
what kind
BC
of-
Rich on the right side? What is
No,
that?
it's a Ibanez Roadstar. It's from the 60s. Yeah, that one on the left.
I have a Roadstar guitar right over.
Oh, you do? Oh, sweet. Very nice. Hell yeah.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, before we let you go, why don't you tell people where they should go online to keep up with you guys and, get information on the singles and eventually tour dates and all that good stuff.
Deadromantic.com is obviously the main kind of hub where you can find all of our stuff. But on socials, it's at Dead Romantic Band. That's for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter the same.
No.
Twitter is at Dead Romantic UK.
Dead
'cause
Romantic
someone
UK,
stole
Twitter,
the damn
bastards.
name.
And YouTube is just Dead Romantic, and hopefully soon we'll hit 1 million. And when we do that, Dan's gonna do a better dance, and we'll post that as well.
Looking forward to seeing that dance, Dan.
No doubt. Well, guys, once again, the new album coming in September is called Voices. And for now, you can check out Yesterday on YouTube, and please do, so that they can rock to 1 million quickly and then get to 2 million before the next one comes out. Why don't we shoot for 2 million for the next one? And guys, thanks so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Appreciate it,
Thanks
guys.
so much for having us.
Very much for having us.
All right. Take care, guys. Good luck with everything.
Take care, fellas.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast. And be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com. For all comments and questions, please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.
All right, everybody, another great interview right here on Aftershocks TV. And before we go, just want to remind you one more time, make sure you get over and subscribe to the CMS Podcast Network, CMSPN.com. You can watch, you can listen, you can subscribe to everything that we do, not only us, but the classic metal shows, Shockwave Skull Sessions, Talk to Me. It's all there, one site, get 4 great shows, never have to do anything again but be entertained. So check it out, CMSPN.com, CMSPN.com, CMSPN.com. Until next time, folks.